Folks, assalamu alaikum and welcome back to day 4, which is also the last day of the Create Your Own Greeting Card Challenge. I hope that you found this training useful up until this point in time. And today what we're going to do is we are going to be wrapping up this project, okay? So we are going to be setting up our artwork, both for the front as well as the back, into a PDF and a printable document, okay, that we can take either to our local print shops like Staples or Office Max and get a printer from there, or we can just go ahead and use our home printer if it is able to print on cardstock paper. So over here, the first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to turn off the visibility for both the left side outline as well as the right side outline. And the reason for that is that these outlines were great to help me out and put the whole design together. Okay, they gave me great guidelines, but I don't want them to appear on my greeting card. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and click on this eye icon here and just turn those off. Okay, now you'll notice that I am not turning off the corners. It's because I actually need these corners to be printed on my greeting card. Okay, that's because when I go to trim my document, these are the points that I'm going to be using in order to align my paper trimmer with. Okay, so those are going to stay. Now, one thing that you can do is make them a little bit lighter, a little bit more subtle, just so if you're a little off with your trimming, they're not standing out too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this square beside the corners. I have to unlock the layer first. So I'm going to hit the square, which selects them, and then I'm just gonna put down the opacity to say around 25. Okay, all I really need is just an indication to show me where they are. Okay, they can be very subtle, only I need to know where these are. Okay, so these have been changed, so their opacity has been brought down to 25%. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to rotate everything and make this into a portrait document. Okay, because in my opinion, I think it's just a little bit more easy to work with. Okay, and this also avoids any confusions when you want to make sure that the front and the back line up properly. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to first hit this artboard tool, and then over here it is currently on landscape, and I'm going to change that to portrait. Okay, and now I'm just going to click on my selection tool, and the next thing I want to make sure is that all of these layers are essentially unlocked. Okay, because I want to rotate everything. So I'm going to hit Command A or Control A on a PC, or you can go to Edit or Select All. Okay. When you have selected everything, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go to Object, Transform, and we're going to go to Rotate. Okay. Now over here, I am going to make this 90 degrees. So I'm going to rotate it by 90 degrees. And so everything essentially rotates by 90 degrees. Now I'm going to go ahead and save this document as a PDF. And when I do save it, it's going to save my artboard area only. So anything that's protruding outside of it is not going to be saved as part of the document. So that's great because we don't want any of that. So I'm going to go to File, Save As, and then in the Format drop-down menu over here, I am going to select Adobe PDF. Okay. And then I am going to hit Save. And then I generally go with the standard settings over here, and I am going to click on Save PDF. Once that's done, I'm just going to go in my folder and see if everything came up properly. So here it is. And that looks pretty good, just the way we would like it to be. Okay, so let's close that and do the exact same process with the backside here as well. So I'm going to turn off visibility on the outlines. I am going to change my artboard from being landscape to portrait, and then I'm going to hit the selection tool. I'm going to make sure everything is unlocked so I can select it. And then when I go to object, transform, and rotate, this time I am going to be hitting minus 90 degrees, okay? And the reason for that is we want to make sure that this section over here of the greeting card is right behind, take a wild guess, this should be right behind the cover, okay? And as we know from this example, the cover is on the top, and over here, this is what's going to be printed right behind it, okay? So I know this may seem a little bit complicated. Just to help you out, just remember one thing. The direction of the front side of the document and the direction of the back side of the document are in opposite directions, okay? So over here, you'll see that the text is flowing from top to bottom, and over here, the text is flowing from bottom to top. Now, you could have inversed everything, okay? So you could have made this the other way, and this could have been the opposite way as well, okay? As long as the orientation of the two documents flow in opposite directions, you're essentially good to go. So the last thing that I'm going to do here actually is I am going to make the corners invisible as well, okay? And the reason is that I only need one side to have the corners because I'm not going to be needing to align both the front and the back. You know, it doesn't make sense for me to be printing corners in the back if I'm already going to be using the corners in the front. Okay, I only need one point of reference so that I can cut my document properly, essentially. Okay, so once I get rid of the corners, I'm ready to go ahead and save this. So I'm going to go to File, Save As, click Adobe PDF in the drop-down menu, Save, and Save PDF. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure that everything turned out fine. And it looks like it's in pretty good shape. Perfect. So now that I have the two PDFs, one for the front and one for the back, now what we need to do is we need to merge this into one document. One document with 2 pages. Okay, so the best way to do this is I found a pretty reliable website. It's called I Love PDF. Okay, so go to ilovepdf.com and go to merge PDF. And then over here, you're basically going to select the PDFs that you have. So let's go to front side. I'm going to open that. And then I will go ahead and add the back side. Now again, it doesn't matter in which order they appear in, okay? At the end of the day, as long as they are flowing in opposite directions, you know, you're gonna have a proper looking greeting card. Okay, so once you have the 2 sides uploaded, you're just gonna hit Merge PDF. And then we're gonna download the merged PDF here. And once that's all done, I'm gonna make sure that it came out right. So it looks like the document has been compiled properly. And now it's a simple matter of me taking this file, saving it on a USB, taking it to my Staples, and asking them to print this document in a double-sided format on whichever cardstock that I select from there. So that's exactly what I'm going to do, and I'm going to catch you when I come back. Okay, so I'm back, and I have all of these printed. I got 20 copies of these greeting cards printed because I only know 20 people. So again, this is the interior, and then this here is the exterior, and you see that we have the corner marks over there, and that's what we're going to use to trim these cards. Okay, so we're going to get right to it. I'm going to show you how you can use one of these trimmers to trim the card here. So let's start off with this edge over here. Let me just move it slightly over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that corner over here and this corner over here, and I'm going to try to line it up with the cut line over here, okay, the best I can. Now, I'd rather cut it inside the line rather than outside, because at the end of the day, I don't want any part of the corners actually showing up on the card. And what's the worst that can happen if I cut a little bit inside? Nothing really. Nobody's going to take out a ruler and measure the size of your card and see if it's, a perfect 5x7. So even if you cut a little bit inside, at least you're not going to have these marks appear. Okay, so I'm going to line it up over here, make sure everything is straight, and then I'm going to pull this back. This side is gone. Now let's go ahead and get rid of this side over here. So I'm going to slip that in and I'm going to line it up. Trim this side. Turn it right over this way. Line it up and cut. And then last but not least, we will get rid of this side over here. Okay. So we have cut out our bleed lines, and this is essentially now our greeting card over here. So now before I actually go ahead and fold this card, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a utility knife to put a small slit right down the middle. And what this does is that it really helps us fold the card in a neat manner. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this inside, and I know that the end of the petal here is where the center mark for my card is. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that on top of the line over here. And then using a ruler, I'm going to go ahead and hold that there. And then with my utility knife, I'm just going to go ahead and put a very light slit down the middle. Okay. So now I can just go ahead and fold this with ease right down the middle of the card. Okay, so here we are, folks. This is the Eid Mubarak greeting card that we designed in the 4-day challenge. Looks pretty good. I think I'm going to go ahead and write down my personal message to my friends and family and ship them out near the Eid holiday. And I've also ordered myself a set of A7 envelopes. So I'm going to go ahead, stick that right in. Struggle is real. Okay. So there we have it, folks. The 4-day challenge to create your own Islamic greeting card. I hope that you found the lessons in this challenge helpful, and that I hope that you are able to create your own greeting cards with ease using the lessons that were taught here. Please feel free to email me if you have any questions or concerns, and I'd be more than happy to help you out. Until next time, folks, take care, and assalamu alaikum.